on board now another large cat. I've been really excited about sailing. I've learned a lot about it over the last couple of years and seen it briefly at Cannes, but now here we are off Barcelona getting to sail it. It's the Windelo 50, the first new boat from a new shipyard, full of really interesting, good ideas as well. What I want you to see right now though is we're going upwind, and it's a really different experience for a lot of people that are used to sailing bigger cats, particularly from outboard cockpits or from flybridge stations. So this is really what would normally be an uncomfortable position for catamaran sailing, going upwind in 15, 16 knots in a bit of a sloppy, choppy sea. But this is where you sail with. We're all connected here, really social cockpit situation, having the twin wheels here and all of your sail handling systems brought to this forward cockpit. And I don't know if you can do this because GoPro managed to stabilise their camera so well now, but what you might appreciate a little bit is just how little movement there is comparatively when you're sailing right from the middle of the boat. So the centre of gravity is all very, very central. There's a really notice a lack of movement, and that makes for a much more comfortable sailing experience. And at the moment, you probably noticed there's hardly any wind in here because we've closed the aft door, but you can get the wind in your hair experience as well. So we are sailing upwind at about 8 or 9 knots at the moment, and I'll go into it in a bit. We're also putting in hydro generating, so about 1 kilowatt is going into the batteries at the moment. But yeah, we're going to get ready, get the code 0 out and sail off the wind for a bit, like we really should do when we're passage making. So now we have the code 0 out and we're running with sort of beamed board reaching with a bit of swell coming across us on our quarter, so hopping on the odd wave, averaging 11-12 knots and up to 14, which in sort of 16 true is pretty good going, really. We're pretty comfortable on board here. Stefan's getting his lunch ready. Another really nice and unusual thing really is to be able to set something like the code 0, furl away the jib and then set the code 0 without even leaving this little area here. It's all been well thought about in that regard. We're just coming into port now after sailing. Anything you notice? Nice and quiet. Electric Belmarine engine driving a shaft drive there, and it's a hydro generating one, so it's been putting in between 1 and 1.5 kilowatts whilst we've been sailing. And yeah, you'll notice this does have Fisher Panda genset as well as a range extender really, but you can get 4 hours at 6 knots motoring under the battery power alone, but this will kick in automatically whenever the batteries start to deplete or whether you need that extra power instantly. So here's where you're getting all that power to top up the lithium ion batteries. Maximum coach roof space for solar power, so up to 3.5 kilowatts of flexible solar panels on the roof here, putting power into a battery bank that's split between 48 volt and 24 volt power. So the 48 volt bank can put straight into 220 volts via the inverter. Can't see it here, but the whole boat, the hull and deck is made out of basalt fibre, which is essentially from a volcanic rock, and it's lighter, so I think it's 50% lighter than glass fibre, and it's also recyclable as well. So a lot of work was done by Windelo on getting sustainable materials to use. So this uses PET foam, i.e. recycled plastic bottles wherever possible, and some PVC foam in the hulls. This bathing platform extends your cockpit area, so this roof will all lift up, so it's a real inside-outside approach. This forms both davits and lowers down to lower the dinghy, and you can see how much it extends the cockpit area and becomes the bathing platform as well. So another thing I really like from sailing within here is just the social interaction. So twin wheels, so you can sit each side to see your telltales. These hatches here will be enlarged, double the size to give you more mainsail viewing, but really nice to be able to see your friend or partner in the making something in the galley there. Sorry, train just going past. Making something in the galley, or you know, if you're sat on the starboard side, equally family, friends, kids in the saloon, or just sat up here with you in the cockpit watching the world go by, seeing the sailing. It's a lot of catamarans all about having these different separate spaces, but actually it's quite nice to have your friends and family all in one space, being able to talk to everyone. We've been able to have a really nice sort of conversation as we're going along here. It's yeah, this is a modern catamaran space. South African designers obviously used forward cockpits for a long time, but this one I think really works with the modern design of the boat. Let's have a quick look in the cabins as well. So moving down port side, this is the owner's hull, and you can see where that raised daybed space above creates room for this transversal queen size bed, which is pretty amazing to have a 50-footer like this, especially when you consider it's a performance blue water boat. Really fine entries on the hulls, but I love that corner window, really nice. So I think normally the layout would see the more conventional one long hull where you have the heads and shower further forward. But owner of this one, who's doing the Arc and then North Atlantic circuit, wanted an office up here with a bunk that folds down from there. So I think it's good use of space. Again, loads of natural. I haven't got any ambient lights on, and loads of natural light through these hull windows. And then you have a split heads and shower area in here. So this one, nice big walk-in shower with your towel rail, etc. And you can see that they've built that around the central daggerboard casing. So the daggerboards are mounted inboard, so they get less disruptive flow through from the hulls. And there's the heads area with the washing machine in there. Roof's going up so we can see the inside-outside concept of this Windelo. For those that didn't think there was enough aft cockpit space, look at it now. The other option you can have in here is an L-shaped galley, and that would create room for the same sort of transversal berth in the guest cabin below. Just have a look at that now. So you have a more conventional style double, still with that curved glass aft quarter, but yeah, you can have the same as the owner's cabin with a transversal bunk that goes up inboard as well. So this boat will set off long-term cruising in another couple of days. Heads there, and shower area in here. Nice big shower compartment, again built around the daggerboard casing, and then you get this kids bunk cabin further forward. So Windelo, as I say, new brand, new company, and they've already sold 9 boats. So it's two 54s in build. This is the first Adventure 50. And yeah, a lightweight, fast cruising catamaran. When I say lightweight, it's 11.5 tons light. This one we're on now is 12.6, I think, but with a payload capacity up to 16 tons. So it is built for proper go anywhere cruising, really. So the bowsprit comes as standard. This one with the Solent, self-tacking Solent, and you see the furling lines led to that cockpit. Don't have to leave the cockpit for sailing at all. Sail locker, massive stowage, or could be a skipper's cabin in here, but really don't think it's needed on this size boat. You see the life raft integrated there. Then you've got fuel tanks below here, and again big deck stowage in the central cockpit. Weight brought aft, stowage and fuel tanks in these central lockers by the mast base. The only thing not in the cockpit itself is topping lift and reefing lines on that mast base winch. You see again here the amount of solar space you have up on there, and how easy it is to walk on the roof to access the lazy jack bag, which is also a nice low boom as well. And then easy descent here into the cockpit. And here we are now with the open mode. So you've seen these concertina doors basically close all the way here, plexiglass doors, so you can shut off the air circulation. Also quite useful if you are taking any water through there to keep it out of the interior. And then this lovely open layout here, you can see how the side windows open out, so there's so much fresh air and ventilation through the boat now. And this with the bathing platform folded down and the dinghy in, using that davit system. Very clever idea, really. So you can really appreciate now how it's an inside-outside boat with plenty of social saloon space shared between what would be a conventionally an aft cockpit and the saloon itself.